everybody, I'm Lorii Abela, your soulmate expert and Asian matchmaker. Welcome to tonight's episode of Matchmaker Secrets, where we talk about love, dating, and relationships, and of course, matchmaking. So our guest tonight is McCracken, who is 41 years old, from Chicago, of course, who recently built the Titanic exhibit as a scenic carpenter. And online dating has taken him to meet matches in London and Sydney before. And as he does not let distance get in the way of a chance of finding a partner. So hello, Mac.
Hi, thanks for having me today.
Sure, great. So what is it about, this Titanic exhibit? Maybe you can tell us.
Oh,
because,
yeah.
That's something
oh,
recent,
yeah.
right?
Definitely. It's worth every penny. I had built the Downtown Abbey exhibit, which is a TV series, right next to it previously. So up in Skokie in Old Orchard Mall, it's definitely worth the price of admission. It was 3 floors that we had to work with, and it was a labyrinth. It's an old Bloomingdale store that they converted into a giant museum full of all kinds of artifacts, from the ship, from uniforms, you name it. And all the rooms are completely transformed. It takes you just through a portal of time.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because one time I was looking for things to do in the city, and then this thing showed up, and I was thinking oh, wow, that's funny, because I didn't know I'm going to meet you here.
Well, the universe brought us together. You're good at that, from what I hear.
Okay. All right. So what motivated you to venture into online dating?
Why not?
Uh-huh.
You're casting a wider net. You know, I like to bet on sports, so it's like you're just playing the odds.
Okay, you're a gambler.
It's only gambling if you lose, in my eyes.
Okay.
It's just a hobby if you're like me.
All right. So how do you approach the process of selecting potential matches online, considering that, factors beyond your physical attraction or shared interest? Do you have any other criteria?
That is a great question. It's something that you continue to evaluate as you're going through the process. But for me, I think the biggest thing that I noticed on Tinder was the communication style. And I'm a phone caller, and I feel like not too many people are anymore. So that was something that I targeted specifically, because I want to get on the phone as quickly as possible and see if there's a mutual connection.
Okay, so are you saying you're auditory? That's the reason why you're focused on the phone?
Yeah, I think I probably get more from a vibe than an average person through a phone call. I think I can, feel it out. But I think, having a call that has some shared laughter and not wanting it to end is the key for everything else moving forward.
Okay, so what does that mean? Sleeping at 1 o'clock?
Sleeping at 1 o'clock?
I'm not sure. You said longer conversation. I don't know, what does that mean for you, long conversation?
Oh, yeah. I could tell you last night I had a 3-hour phone conversation. I'm going on a date on Saturday.
Okay, so you had a 3 hours conversation before you're gonna have a date. Is that your normal?
No, this one's breaking all the rules. Usually I cut it at an hour because it's out of respect, and you kind of want to leave some intrigue, right? You don't want to play 21 questions, because online dating is like job interviewing. If you're looking for a job, you should do both at the same time, because you'll just be in the same mindset.
So how many questions do you ask?
Usually women come well equipped with enough questions for both of us, but if I feel like there's leftover time for me to, maybe I just volley a serve back of a question and see how they answer it. If anyone asks you a question, they should be ready to answer it as well.
Okay, all right, okay. So I understand you also have a look into London and Sydney. So what made you decide to look further than Chicago?
Why not? It's just even a wider net. It's the biggest net. Most apps, they have that preference of how many miles away. But if you run out of matches and you don't want to pay for it, you just open it up and just keep going. Say anybody in the world. And I like to travel, so why not combine both of those things?
Okay. So I understand that there's some cultural differences. So what kind of differences have you seen as far as meeting somebody who's from England or somebody from Australia?
Well, they speak English, but it's a different kind, right? The vocabulary is different. For example, if I called a woman babe in London, they would, immediately get turned off and correct me never to do that again, because there's social classes that are more well and commonly known.
So there are some characteristics probably the same of the people from England as to Australia as well. Maybe they have the same kind of.
Yeah, it was actually while I was dating in London that I made friends in Australia.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Even though that relationship didn't work out, ultimately I came back here, obviously. But it just filed just a little note in the back of my head that maybe next time I try to connect out there, because they seem to be having more fun than any group of people I've ever seen in my life. And sure enough, I mean, Australians are well known for just being a fun-loving group.
Mm-hmm. So did you go to Australia?
Of course, I went to Sydney.
Okay.
And Sydney's world-class city. I mean, I by the time I was done with my trip, I was picturing myself taking their giant ferry to work because it was just picturesque.
Okay, and so how long were you in London?
Oh, about a month and a half. straight.
Okay, and
Yeah,
so what
stayed
did you
there.
do during your time over
Oh,
there?
all the tourist stuff, Big Ben,
Okay.
That's the most beautiful part about dating someone in another country is you have a built-in tour guide to show you everything. And you usually have to do that on your second or third time traveling and visiting somewhere. So
Okay, and so you had a whole month of vacation.
yeah, I would say vacation, but it comes down to a point, can I work and be successful there too, right? And for me at the time, I could only work a part-time job like on a student visa. That was my best option, or get married. And she was definitely willing to get married, but I didn't want that to be the factor in doing so. So, it puts the pressure on the relationship to get serious a lot quicker than per se one, across the street from your house.
So what are you looking for in a woman?
That is such a loaded question. Good person. That's a good start, right? You get a good person, someone that matches your energy and effort just to get to know you. I think that is the most difficult part of online dating, is just getting to that point. Once you get to that point, are you sharing laughter? Do they alter your perception of time? That 3-hour phone call felt like 30 minutes.
And so what do you call that? So do you specifically continue on conversations with people from London and Sydney up to this time?
I'm not a spry chicken anymore. I'm getting up there in age, so it's time to really think about finding a lifetime partner. So no, I'm only trying to find people I can meet very quickly and determine if there's a future together. Chicago is a world-class city, second to none. So we have every skin tone, every culture you can imagine, and it's a city of neighborhoods, which just makes it more beautiful to me.
All right. So you like all the colors?
Yes.
Okay.
Give me some melanin in the skin. I'm half Mexican. My other half's from Canada. I was born in California, but I guess you could call me American.
Okay. All right. So I was just wondering, because you look into that before. So just in case, you hit it up, really, that person that you were saying in London. So were you open to moving to another country?
Yeah, I wanted to. I didn't want to come back here initially. But, your visa is going to let you stay for 3 months or whatever country, whatever their policy might be. But I knew that as soon as I got there, that was it. And for me, I needed to feel fulfilled by work, and that kind of gap when you're with somebody who's working every day and you're just there pretty much on an island. You have maybe some of their friends and you make a couple friends, but then you're going to start missing everything that you left. And if the relationship, if you don't continue to build together, things fall apart. So I came back here with the intentions of going back, but the relationship wasn't strong enough to last a long distance relationship. Correct. I'm sorry. Long distance relationships are the toughest challenge you could ever do.
Okay. And then as far as being able to work, and were you working from home? I'm not sure, if you can do your carpentry at work, or you can bring your stuff at home and do it at home.
That's the thing. I probably could have worked there, right? But not legally. You know what I mean? And it's just a slippery slope to go down. You're risking your freedom, and then, you know, maybe that's worth it for some people in a relationship. For me, I'm not gonna do that.
Okay, all right. Huh. All right. So you can say like you are well known already here in this industry. In
Yeah,
Chicago.
I do stuff besides just using my hands. Sometimes, you know, I work with people in a lot of big scale festivals. I worked Lollapalooza last year for Stella Artois as a brand rep in their VIP, which is the best experience you can have because you're just hanging out and watching the show with everyone else. You know, I bartend once in a while for fun because, you know, when you're building stuff, it gets lonely. You know, the Titanic exhibit, I was a vampire. I still am a vampire because I was working 6 o'clock at night to 5 in the morning or however long I could last.
Okay, that's a long hours.
Yeah, so dating is difficult, right? I was finding myself matching with professionals that worked night shifts and building camaraderie based on, you know, being an outsider. But luckily for me, I'm shifting back to these early mornings and loving life again. Because sleeping during the day is not the same quality of sleep as sleeping at night, let me tell you.
So how does it work before? Like, you know, you were having dates at 7 a.m.?
No, no.
Because you're saying you're working in the evening.
The key, if you're vampires that have the date like an hour or two after you wake up, right? Like a late lunch or something like that.
Okay.
Because you still have like an hour or two before you have to get to your job site. So
okay.
it's pretty much it. And then, you know, you're going to have a day or two off during the weekend or during the week. So it's just, yeah, it was incredibly difficult. I matched with people with potential, but neither one of us could find the time. And, you know, that's, you know, everybody says they're busy, right? But if you live a lifestyle like that, you are genuinely busy in a different way.
Okay. Yeah, I was just asking about the dating time because like in the Philippines, I'm originally from the Philippines. It's funny because like in the Philippines, there are a lot of people who are working in the evening because they're working for call centers because like there are a lot of people who speaks English. Everybody almost speaks English because the books are in English, but it's most of the people, they were hired by these companies which were doing this kind of business, having their calls taken by people from the Philippines so that they can actually have the services like AT&T or whatever other companies who are needing services. But yeah, I was thinking like, okay, their time to hang out is after work, so that's gonna be 7 a.m. if ever. And so like, yeah, it didn't dawn on me that okay, they will go home first and then change and then like, you know, meet around lunchtime.
Wow. And it's funny too because if you work that life, if someone just saw you having a drink at 7 in the morning, you might get a funny look, right?
No, I think they got used to it.
Yeah, I think, you know, if you're in that lifestyle, you don't even care.
Yeah, but you know, from what I've seen is that, you know, people who are working at night also finds people who are working at night so that they can have something in common because like it's a challenge, particularly if the person is the love language is quality time. How can you have quality time if, let's say, that the person is working different hours? And so, yeah, there's going to be a never-ending fight because, like, the fight for time.
Did you figure out that was mine?
No.
Okay. Quality time, acts of service.
Oh, that's yours.
Those
okay.
are my two. It's like a tie between them
Interesting. Okay. All right. So, what challenges have you encountered in meeting someone from overseas? Like, obviously, you said, like, you have to challenge your capacity to be able to work over there.
Yeah.
Aside from that, is there anything else?
The professional careers, especially as you get older, you know, it's hard to shift and just uproot your whole life. You know, if you have a house, you know, all your belongings. I mean, moving is a stressful process. Before I went to London, I had to fire sale everything here with the intention of not coming back because, you know, I had to prepare for, you know, if I didn't prepare for it, that would make me pessimistic about the relationship. So, yeah, it's tough, but it changed me in a way that I love because I stopped coveting material items. You know, if I get something, I'm grateful for it, but I don't try and buy objects or knickknacks or any of that stuff on my own in case that situation happens again. It's just easier to move about. It's easier to date people further away when you have less tying you down.
All right. And then you said that you're also Mexican, but you're close with your family. So were they ready for you to be gone? I'm just wondering.
Oh no, it was a shock.
Okay.
I mean, you are with a match and you're doing your Skype or whatever video calls, FaceTime, whatever it may be, but it's just you two. Usually there's not other people that are in that conversation, right?
Yeah.
So they don't see the build up, right? They might hear about it initially, oh, you met someone, but they don't see the progression, you know, how things can get serious once you've established a mutual connection.
Yeah. Okay. So they were shocked, and then like you said, like I gotta pack now. Okay.
Yeah, like you're leaving, you're not coming back. Who is she? What does she do? You know, all the questions in the world, and you think you're falling in love. All these things. Like, are you crazy? A lot of people, it just has to make sense to you and the other person you're talking to.
Okay. So do you believe in marriage?
Yeah, of course.
And your parents, are they still together?
No, but they're not alive, so.
Oh.
I mean, it's okay. I mean, they were just okay anyways. They weren't that great, so.
Yeah. And so all of your siblings are married, or you're the only one who's remaining not married?
Yeah. Everyone's hitched up except me. You know, it's that game of musical chairs where, you know, you're kind of just looking around and you had opportunities maybe that, you know, and you're kind of it's hard not to second guess yourself after spending so much time on every single dating app and, you know, but what I did in December, I just started working on myself. I took a break from every single dating app, and I was like, if I just invest everything in me for 3 months, I'll revisit it around my birthday, which was a couple weeks ago, and that's when I just opened up the doors again to see what's out there, and sure enough, my doors were blown off by this woman I'm going to meet on Saturday.
Wow, so, that's exciting.
Yeah.
So what do you call that? Do you want to have children?
No.
No, okay. No, because like
that's an important question to ask.
No, because like that's what I've noticed. A lot of people now, they don't want to have children, and so you know, I think like it's also something which should be talked earlier, because like
very important question.
Yeah,
it needs to be addressed immediately, because I don't think there's a point if you can't agree upon that. You know, you're supposed to build. It's a foundation of building something with a partner. If they have a child already, you need to be prepared to help accommodate that. The relationship is going to get serious very quickly, whether you like it or not, because, you know, the situations for single parents very, very tough. Even to find the free time to date someone is just a challenge.
So are you open with somebody with children?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
You know, kids are great. Who doesn't love kids?
Okay. And then how about this is a funny thing. How about politics? Are you, you know, particular about like what is your politics that you believe in?
Wow. I'm just open-minded. I don't really. I mean, if you spent most of your life in Chicago, when it comes to politics, you kind of accept certain things. So, you know, I think that it's about, you know, a sense of community, all those things. If the politics involves some kind of grassroots connection, because it's just people on TV, to me, like I don't feel the impact. Luckily in Chicago, we've had a lot of great local politicians that, you know, help change the world. So, you know, we don't have to look far for heroes. Like even our mayor is a hero to me.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so like, you know, I just posted that questions because like I want to find out like specifically what are you looking for, and then your beliefs, because like obviously like beliefs are the ones which you cannot really change anymore because like, you know, they have been established, you know, in yourself.
You're right, but I think it just gets harder to change. I think you can still have an open, fluid mindset to, you know, you're going to have cognitive biases, you know, when you hear something for the first time that just sometimes you get a knee-jerk reaction to it. But, you know, like they say, if it's hysterical, it's historical. Anybody that you get in a long-winded political debate about, you know, it's coming from somewhere in previous ones. So I just pretend like I don't know anything. And I honestly don't really follow politics besides the local stuff because that means a lot.
Okay. All right. So I wish we have more time, but I think like, you know, this is it for today. And then we are always looking for resource speakers. If you are single and wondering how to navigate love, we want to have you over here. And if you are a professional in love, dating, and relationship industry, we would like to invite you over here as well. And if you have been in a relationship for a long time, we want to invite you, because like you'll never know what kind of nuggets you can share for those young people who are looking for guidance and trying to find out, okay, when I gonna get hooked or something.
Yeah.
So, all right, thank you so much again, and then we'll see you soon. Bye bye.
Bye bye.